a video content producer since 2017. I'm currently specializing in video podcasting and post-production. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to use Davinci Resolve to edit videos, audio, and other things. Davinci Resolve is a video production application that you can get on Blackmagic's website. For these lessons, we're going to be using Davinci Resolve 18, as you can see over here. So all you need to do is scroll all the way down to the bottom and then download it over here. Just make sure that you download the correct one for your operating system. Alright, so once you've installed Davinci Resolve, you can go ahead and either create a new project or you can work in an existing one. We're going to be opening a new project for the purposes of this lesson. When you open Davinci Resolve, you will see that you've got what we call pages, 7 of them, down at the bottom of the screen here. And I'm going to just quickly run through what each of these do and what they're for in this application. So the first one that we've got over here is our media page. This is a really great place to import all of your media, manage all of it, preview things, and keep everything nice and organized. The next one we have is the cut page. This is a more simplified editing page for a lot of people who might have started off doing video editing in something like CapCut or similar applications. This will feel a lot more comfortable for them rather than something a little bit more fully fledged, such as your edit page. This is where we're going to spend a lot of time. This is where you can create your video projects, you can put your clips in order, add effects to them. You can also do some sound editing in this page. It's a really, really nice place for actually creating your videos. Something that's really awesome and really worth noting is that no other video production application has 2 editors in it, like Resolve does with the cut page and the edit page. Now, the cut page, like I've mentioned, is great if you've started off on CapCut or something like that. It's really, really accessible. And the edit page is more fully fledged. And this gives people the option of choosing something that's going to work a little bit better for them. And because Resolve likes to fully integrate everything, you don't have to be committed to either of these. You can work on the same video project in either of these pages and switch between them at any given time. Fusion is the next one. This is a video compositing interface. Now, it used to be a completely separate application, but as of about 2019 or so, Resolve actually included it in their video production program, which is really great. This is something that Resolve does really nicely, is they try to keep the entire video editing, video production workflow all within one application, so you don't need to jump around between different programs. You can do everything in Resolve. So this is a great place to do things like any sort of animation, any sort of compositing. You can also add additional effects and text effects and things like that in Fusion. So next on from Fusion, we've got the color page, which is one of my personal favorites. And this is actually the thing that Davinci Resolve was first known for. It started out exclusively as a color correction and color grading application, and it is still to this day the industry standard for many production houses out there. In this particular page, we can do things like color correct, color grade our clips, basically anything to do with adjusting how bright, how colorful, what shades you're working with in your video project. So next, over from the color page, we've got Fairlight. Now, Fairlight, just like Fusion, used to be a separate application and has been incorporated into Davinci Resolve, and this is their dedicated audio workspace. You can, as you will see, do some audio and sound editing in our edit page, but Fairlight is much more dedicated towards audio. The interface is laid out so that you can access certain tools better, you can add more advanced effects and other things like that. This will get its own video, so we'll spend a little bit of time in there. And then finally, we've got the deliver page. This is where you can export your video projects, and we will spend a little bit of time here showing you how to do all of that. But off the bat, something that I would like to note, which is really, really awesome, is this render queue over here. Davinci Resolve actually allows you to queue up a bunch of different exports, and then you can run them all at the same time. rather than, doing one export and then being unable to use the application when you should actually be editing. So that's pretty great, but we'll get into that in a little bit more detail shortly. Because we're going to be spending quite a lot of time in the edit page, I think it's a good idea to just briefly run through all of these different panels and explain what they do, so you're not so intimidated the first time that you try and edit something. So first of all, starting over here on the left hand side, this is our media pool. You can see here that if you click on its title, it will either open or close. So you don't have to have it open all the time if you need to have a little bit more screen space to be able to see what you're doing. Your media pool is where you can see everything that you've imported, whether that be audio clips, video clips, image sequences, etc. And you can make selections about what you want to actually bring onto your timeline area to start editing. Something else that's over here on the left hand side, which is really, really great, is your effects panel. Again, this can be hidden and reopened based on what you're working on at that point in time. This is where you've got things like your video transitions, any sort of titling and text templates. You can also find more advanced open effects and filters, that sort of thing in here. And generators, which are like backgrounds for text, that sort of thing. Let's jump over to the right hand side and look at some of these panels here. First of all, we've got the mixer. And if I press play here, you can see that this is giving me a space to check the readout of how loud all of my different audio tracks are. If that seems a little confusing, don't worry. We're going to look at that in a little bit more detail in one of the next videos. Next up, we've got our metadata panel. This is where you can view information about the video files or anything else that is on your timeline area. For example, we can see here, bit depth for both the audio and the visuals. We can also see what codec was used, the frame rate, resolution, that sort of thing. Really useful for double checking project settings and that sort of thing. And then lastly, we've got our inspector panel over here, and I'm going to just close that metadata panel so we can see this in a bit more detail. You might spend a lot of time working here. This is where you can change properties of any of the clips that are on the timeline, such as zooming in, repositioning something on screen. You could crop sections of it. You can change your composite modes and various other things. They've also got a separate panel for the audio as well, where you can do the same things, change your volume, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and just close all of these different panels. So this is how your project is going to look most of the time when you're doing